Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Wamalak Bashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake, especially in these winter elements, enduring the snow, the freezing rain, the cold, the sleet, the hail, the blizzards, and making your body a living sacrifice. Shalom to those men during these harsh seasons. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. And shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashima Mashiach Yabushai, Sweet Styles, Naturals, Nigel Blends, T Keeper, Dinah 144K, Don Israel to me, Shalom King, Vernon Brody, HBK Lit, Shalom, Aka Rectitude, Hank, Yvette McKellar, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Kwame Yasha'ala, Yashai Rael, Nakamaya, Shalom King, Walina 2123, Eliyahu Banyamyan, Abiathar, Shalom, Azagasar, Shalom. And again, Shabbat Shalom to everybody tuning in through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmer Rashai on another beautiful Sabbath day. Dystopia, life after the third trumpet, right? That's the name of what we're going into through the spirit and power of Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. Dystopia, life after the third trumpet. And you can go, and we'll go into this account on why we call it this life after the third trumpet that's found in the Apocrypha. And the Most High speaks to a particular time period after the third trumpet that we're going to touch on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiel Shine, what that's going to look like, how that's going to impact our lives, the ministry. Does that pertain to Jacob's trouble? What's going to be happening on the earth? What's going to be going on in Babylon the Great amongst the nations during this time period that's mentioned in the Apocrypha in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter. We're going to touch on that all tonight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiel Shine. So first and foremost, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 22, and we're going to start at verse number 14 because times are harsh. Times are coming to Babylon the Great, man. And these ain't times to be playing around. These aren't times to be slothful. These are not the days to be having your thumb in your mouth and your hands in your pockets, waiting for something big to happen, man. Right? These ain't the times to be entertaining these evil spirits, those demonic thoughts. These ain't the days to be falling to these different diverse temptations. These are the days to be strong in Yahweh and strong in his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, building up yourself in the most holy faith, building up yourself in a fear of the Most High, and increasing in hope, right? Ezekiel 22 and 14. Can thine heart endure, or can thine hands be strong in the days that I shall deal with thee? I, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, have spoken it and will do it. You have to ask yourself this, man. You have to ask yourself, in the days of evil, am I going to believe, man? And when I don't have any food, right? When the Most High takes away my house, when the Most High, takes away my family from me, he separates me from the congregation, from my wife or my children, or I'm physically being harmed or tortured, or I'm scattered abroad. Can my mind endure? Am I still going to be thinking about the precepts, thinking about the righteous examples that we have? Or am I going to be thinking about how to survive in the flesh? Am I going to be carnal, trusting in man, weak in faith? Can thine heart endure, or can thine hands be strong in the days that I shall deal with thee? And the Most High is going to deal with every single one of us according to his pleasure. How the Most High deals with me may be different than how the Most High deals with you, right? I may get put to death for the truth. You may not. You might get put to death for the truth. I may not. My family might be separated from me. That might happen to you. You might be in the wilderness somewhere, scattered abroad in the forest. I might go 3 days without food. You may go 5 days without food. Everybody's going to go through their own particular trial, right? And we have to ask ourselves and pray that the Most High allows us to endure the days that he's going to deal with us, because he's going to try every single one of us, man. Right? Let's get that in Second Ezra real quick. Right? Second Ezra, the 7th chapter. So these aren't the days to, be playing around, man. Right? These are the days to be saying or asking yourself, are you really sincere in this truth? Are you looking to get the hell up out of here? Are you looking for the kingdom of heaven to be established? Is that your expectation? Or do you really love your job? Do you want your job to continue 20 more years? Do you love America? Are you waiting for the next big, currency to come out? Are you waiting for the next big fad or the next big trend to involve yourself in, huh? Do you want to do Christmas bigger than how you did it last year or this past year? Where's your mind at? And a lot of brothers, man, we looking to get up out of here, man. We're hastening the day. This is Second Ezra, chapter 7 and verse. I just got to get this precept, then we're going to get right into it. Second Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. So everybody has a battle that they have to play out. Right? You have a fight. It's between you and whatever demon the Most High sent against you. Whatever demons, that's all it is. It's a spiritual battle. And the conditions have been modified according to the spirit that the Most High gave you. Just like a video game, right? When people play video games in the world when you were young, you have different levels. You got easy, medium, hard, or extra hard, right? Certain battlefields are different. Some have buildings, some have walls, some have potholes you got to avoid, some have fire pits you have to avoid. And the condition of that level or that playing field is designed by the person that created that game. And when you play that game, when you make that decision to play that game, you can't go to the game designer and say, well, why'd you make the level like this? This is too hard. You should have put this over here, or how come I only got 3 lives, or you should have put the fire pit on this side. No, you got to deal with it. You have to deal with the conditions that have been designed and created for you. And everybody has a designed battlefield and conditions and modifications for you. And my battle is different than your battle, huh? I may have health issues. You might not have health issues. I might have financial problems. You might not have financial problems. My children might have left me. Your children might still stick around. The point of the matter is everybody has particular conditions that has been designed and created by the creator himself, Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. And if you're born and you're in the truth, you have to fight and pass this test. Verse number 58, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the things that I say. So if you lose this battle and you're overcome by these demons that are around you every day, and you know exactly what those demons are. Some brothers, you battle in lust every day. Maybe it's at your job. Maybe it's through the internet, right? Maybe it's through the world. Some brothers, you're battling depression, drunkenness, alcoholism, pride, envy. If you allow those demons to defeat you, you're going to suffer by fire and brimstone. You didn't understand the conditions that were given to you. A lot of brothers lose sight that, hold on, these are my conditions of the battle. You get too caught up in the flesh and you lack spiritual understanding, and you're going to suffer. But if you pass and you understand that these are the conditions of the battle, here's the cards that I've been dealt. I have to play out my hand and I have to be victorious with what the Most High gave me, whether it's little or much. If you get the victory, you're going to receive the things that the Most High says, which is everlasting life and the kingdom of heaven. So times are going to get hard, man. Times are going to get hard and things are going to get rough. And judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High. When it's all said and done and the Most High start cracking down and really laying that hammer down, the Most High is going to be getting brothers up out of here, man. Meaning out of this terrestrial realm that you dwell in. Most High is going to be putting men to death. Men are going to be getting jammed up, exposed. I mean, you see that going on already in Israel, man. I don't have to go too much into detail. You see brothers' spirit leaving them out, people changing doctrines. You got men dying, people getting put to death. You got all hell breaking loose, man. So the Most High, he's going to start, and he's already doing it, trimming the fat. And you don't want to get caught out there. That's why you have to make sure your life is sincere. Right? We're about to go into life after the third trumpet and how horrible the times are going to be to the inhabitants of the earth and the land of the living. Right? In the days of trouble, the days of famine and civil unrest, we're about to touch on some horrible times that are coming. You know? So you want to make sure that you're under the protection of the Most High. And the Most High is not going to protect anybody with ulterior motives, man. Right? The Most High is not going to protect anybody that has guile in their spirit, right? Or folly, you know? Slacky, bear with me. So this is 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them, Slacky, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So the time has come that the Most High is going to start making decisions on who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. That's the first room he's going in, man. The room of the house of Israel. He's going to look in and see, oh, this brother's slothful. Oh, that sister's off. Oh, that brother, he's not sincere. Oh, that brother's in this thing for views, for vain glory. Oh, that brother, man, he just wants to be seen of men. Well, that brother, he's clean. His heart is pure. And he's going to start making decisions. A judgment is a decision. He's going to sever out the righteous from the wicked. You know, this before the Most High dropped the bombs, before the chariots come, before that second wilderness. The Most High is always going to hem up Israel first. Verse 18, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear, man? So the righteous are barely going to make it out of here, man. By the skin of their teeth, I can tell you in the book of Job. So you want to, again, I can't stress it enough. You want to make sure as these days, and these days are getting evil, man. I mean, you can see it if you're watching. That's why we do those lessons like, are you watching? Right? Current events. So you can actually understand the judgments that are actually happening around you. And you can therefore measure the times and see how soon we are to get up out of here, man. We are on our way out of here, man. But the righteous are scarcely going to be saved. Let's go to Zechariah 1:12. Right? So again, these ain't the days to be full of envy, pride. You want to be the number one Israelite, right? You want to be the top man. You know, you want to be this, you want to be that. You want to heap up all these wives. You know, you slothful. You try and get this money. You chasing the bag, right? These ain't the days for that, man. You're going to be cut up out of here when the Most High start judging the house of Israel first. Right? I want Zechariah, right? Chapter, bear with me. I want 1, right? Slacky, bear with me. I want to get this precept. Right? I want, let me see if I want this. Right? Slacky, let me get this. I had this written down. The Most High said he's going to, Zephaniah. Slacky, I had Zechariah. Zephaniah chapter 1:12. It reads, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil, man. Again, we're about to touch on the time after the third trumpet. The Most High is going to have men still on the earth. When these missiles begin to kick off, men are still going to be alive when World War III kick off. Certain men, and certain men are going to die in their sins. Certain Israelites who know that they're Israelites, they're going to die in the famine. They're going to die in World War III. They're going to die in civil wars and race wars, martial law. And it's not going to be for being a witness to this truth. They're not going to be martyrs. Some people are going to have shameful deaths, man. Because the Most High, he's going to start searching us with candles. So the Lord has to, this is a metaphor of the Most High sending angels down which are that pure fire like a candle, which are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, and they're going to behold all the ways of men. And they're going to bring a report back to the Most High. Once that door closes and say, this man's going to make it, this man's not going to make it. Here's what's in this man's mind. This brother didn't overcome this spirit. He's still dealing with this. He just went off right here. And the Most High is going to start punishing those men at the account of the angels. And men who say that the Lord ain't going to do good, neither will he do evil. Meaning they don't fear the judgments. We talk about the missiles. They don't really believe that, man. We talk about the chariots. They really don't believe the chariots are coming. They really don't believe a famine is coming. Some brothers, I mean, they really just don't believe it. They kind of just go through the motions, or they rehearsing it like a parrot, or they heard another brother say it, or it sound good, or, you know, that they want to go out there and they physically going through the motions, but they spirit really don't believe this stuff, man. And the Most High see that. So you have to understand that the Most High is about to start searching Jerusalem with candles, and you have demons around you. And I don't, you know, nobody follows anybody 24/7. Nobody has a camera stalking every brother that knows that they're an Israelite, man. Only you know the demons that you deal with, man, that you encounter, that you struggle with. And you better destroy those demons, or those demons are going to destroy you, man. Right? So the Most High is going to start searching Jerusalem with candles through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. Let's get this real quick in Luke chapter 12. Right? This is Luke chapter 12 and verse number 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So a lot of brothers know the will of the Most High. A lot of you sisters, you know the will of the Lord, man. To repent, pray, confess your sins, turn away from sin, keep the commandments. A lot of brothers know you're supposed to be doing this work, and you're not doing it, man. And you're not performing and doing it at the level that you know you can. But you know the will of the Most High, to be zealous, to be on fire, to fast. The Lord said my disciples would fast in those days. You got brothers that don't fast. You're not doing the will of the Most High. You're not a disciple if you're not fasting. Does it have to be every day? No. But according to the Spirit, you should be fasting. You should be studying. You should be reading, going over your notes, prophesying, if that's your gift. Whatever your gift is that the Most High gave you, that is the will that the Most High has put on you. And if you don't prepare yourself and you're not doing that will, but you know you're supposed to, it's over for you. The Most High is not playing around. I don't know why people think that the Most High, he's just up there just waiting to just beam you up. The Most High is going to bring death on the earth, man. And it's coming to Israelites first. Just because the Most High, he moved, you know, he's silent up there in the third heaven. And the Most High is ever so silent, man. But the Lord said, I will hold my peace no longer, paraphrasing. Let me get that in Isaiah 42. Right? I mean, the brother Ryan bring the precept out all the time, huh? Right? This Isaiah chapter 42, and I'm going to start at verse number 14. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. So the Lord has a long time holding his peace, man, until you're not doing your will or doing his will. He's holding his peace. It's been weeks. Maybe it's been years. Maybe it's been months, and the Lord didn't get up with you yet, man. Going the hell off, still dealing with that same demon that you're not fighting, you're entertaining, freaking off. The Lord will hold his peace, but he will not at all acquit the wicked, man. The Lord has been still, and he refrained himself. He says, but now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. When you got a travailing woman, she's uncontrollable, man. You really can't comfort a travailing woman. You can't say, look, you need to calm down. You know, look, just do. Ain't no one hear that, man. They're so in a particular spirit of release that there's nothing that can refrain them from or restrain them. That's how the Most High is about to be amongst the children of Israel. So stop playing, man. Stop playing with the Most High. You can play with man. You can play with your kids, man. They got the new PS5 or whatever. You can play with that. People play spades. You can do that. Big joke. You can do all that. Stop playing with the Most High, man. Just because the Most High is holding his peace, don't mean the Most High don't see you going the hell off, man. Just because the Most High has been still, don't mean the angels ain't recording your wickedness, man, and your thoughts. You don't want the Most High to let loose on you, man. You do not want the Most High to let loose on you. I don't want the Most High to let loose, man, on me. So we have to get our spirits right, man. I wanted to start this with a little bit of exhortation, man, because this thing is real, man. Right? This thing is real. Psalms chapter 15 and 1. Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Abishai, who shall abide in thy tabernacle, or who shall dwell in thy holy hill? So in simple terms, who's going to make it? Who's going to make it out of Babylon the Great, man? Because the Lord ain't taking everybody. Remember, the Most High said a remnant shall return. Who's going to abide in this tabernacle? Who's going to dwell in his holy hill? Who's going to be in the kingdom? Let's go to Isaiah 10 and 22. And this truth is like a race, man. Right? And everybody ain't going to win. You know, this is like a righteous competition. The Lord said only one man can go there at once. Isaiah chapter 10 and 22. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. And we'll say it again. Just because you know that you are an Israelite doesn't guarantee that you're going to make it. Just because you know you're from the tribe of Judah, or you got fringes on, and a border of blue, or you're from the tribe of Ephraim or Manasseh, your knowledge isn't going to get you out of here. A lot of people know a lot, man. People know breakdowns, parables, allegories, dark sayings, riddles, mysteries, dark sentences they can expound, and they have skill. Your knowledge isn't going to save you. It's what you do with the knowledge of the Most High that's going to save you. And if you apply the knowledge and the mind that the Most High gave you, then there's going to be works shown with that, and fruit and labor. You're not going to make it out of here with what you know. It's what you do with what you know. For yourself, your household, your people, and more importantly, Yahweh Ba'ashmi Yahushua. Everybody's not going to understand that. Only a remnant will. And that remnant, they're going to return to the Most High. These are the people who are going to dwell in the holy hill and abide in the tabernacle of the Most High. So let's read it again in Psalms chapter 15 and 1. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? Here's the answer. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh truth in his heart, man. So walking uprightly meaning walking according to righteousness, walking according to the precepts, not doing your own thing, moving in the fear of the Most High. I was talking to brothers earlier, man. I said, man, even when them spirits of temptation coming to you, you should have them precepts in your mind. Let's say, hold it, that's off. This precept says this, or this says this in this verse, or this book chapter verse says this, so I can't do this. You gotta have them precepts in your mind. The Holy Spirit should be working with you. And if you're studying, the Most High is going to honor that spirit and have them precepts as a defense to ensure that you walk uprightly and not fall victim to sin. You have to walk uprightly. You have to have them precepts in your mind for comfort and for defense and for the offense. You have to work righteousness and speak the truth in your mind. That's rebuke. That's correction. That's not adding to the word, taking away, not be in vain. Verse 3, he that backbiteth not with his tongue. You got a lot of backbiters. People that like to speak about men ill behind their back. Slander and gossip and confusion, man. Murmuring and backbiting. You don't understand the whole matter. You haven't weighed everything in the balance. You're not the Most High. You're not an angel, but you're backbiting and murmuring. You can't be a backbiter, or you're not going to make it, man. Make diligent inquisition before you say anything. And also speak to that individual, man. Ask them straight up. Talk to them straight up. You don't have to backbite. You got something on your heart, man. Tell them. Don't be a backbiter. Don't be a whisperer. Nor doeth evil to his neighbor. Yeah, you stealing from your neighbor, right? You extorting your neighbor, right? You let your neighbor get away with all types of filthiness, man. You don't want to rebuke them. It says, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. You should contemn vile men. You're not hanging around drug dealers, crack smokers, gamblers, alcoholics, freakism, worldly family members that are inclining you to sin. You have to, in the last days, you got to look at a vile person like it's damn swine, right? Or a damn unclean thing. You don't even want to touch them or come around them. A vile person should not be, well, that person's, that's just it's not that bad. Now I'm saying be over righteous, but at this and these days, man, them demons. There's so many damn demons on the earth. You entertain the wrong demon for too long, and the demon ain't gonna tell you, here's how long it takes for me to hop on you. Demons don't tell you that. Okay, you hang around this person 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'm gonna hop on you. Demons, I've never heard a demon say that. Hang around this guy smoking weed, man. 10 minutes, you're gonna start smoking. No. You gotta look at that vile person like, man, you ain't hopping on me, man. Those spirits ain't resting on me. Any given place, you gotta tell yourself this thing can go down. So in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. That's damn wicked music, folly, lewd sex, stuff on your timeline, creepism, weirdism, But he that honoreth them, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, then you ain't extorting brothers, charging them with interest, nor taketh reward against the innocent. You ain't taking bribes, man, right? To deal falsely and pronounce false judgment. He that doeth these things shall never be moved, man, right? He that doeth these things shall never be moved. So let's dive right into it, man. Right? That's just to kind of get our minds right about what spirit we need to be in, man. Because again, the name of this lesson is life after the third trumpet, man. Let me actually get that for brothers let me just read that before we kind of dive into it. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and 4. It reads, but if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. So there's a period in the land of the living where the Most High is saying, if I even grant you to live, which really already sets the precedent, man, that the Most High is going to be killing a lot of people. For him to say, if I grant you to live, which means the Most High is going to be killing and slaying many souls with many death angels through starvation, through war, through destruction, suicide, homicide, murder. If, meaning your life ain't guaranteed to make it, but if peradventure the Most High has mercy on you and he grants you to live, as these wars are kicking off and during Jacob's trouble, the days of evil, thou shalt see after the third trumpet. And we're going to touch on all of this. That the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. So there's a time period where the Most High is saying that certain men, the elect men of Yahweh Shemel Shai, are still going to be alive at this time. Right? After the first trumpet, after the second trumpet, and if they somehow made it past those trumpets and they're there during the third trumpet, certain things are going to transpire, certain things are going to happen, life is going to alter, and things are going to change for the whole course of man. And we're going to touch on this life after the third trumpet. But first, let's touch on Second Ezra, the fourth chapter, right? Because how did this even come into play? Why would the angel tell Ezra that? Because that was the angel Uriel. The archangel actually told Ezra that. You know, when you read this book, it was the archangel Uriel in the Hebrew. That's a warrior Allah, the light of the Most High. The Most High sent this spirit to shed light on Ezra's questions that he had regarding the Israelites in captivity, his people, salvation, the generations to come, the return of the Lord. There are many questions that pondered in the mind of Ezra, and the Lord sent this angel to deal with him, you know? So let's go to Second Ezra chapter 4, and I want to read verse number 44, right? This Second Ezra chapter 4 and 44. Then answered I and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than is to come. So what is he asking? He's asking, are we going to have more days ahead of us to the end of the world, or less days compared to what has happened before? Right? That's what he's asking. Look at it like when you're looking at a race, how close are we to the finish line? Did we just start the race, or are we about to end the race? Right? Is it more to come in this race, or are we almost out of here? Did I just start this thing? You know? So that's what he wanted to know. He was curious regarding the times, like a lot of our forefathers were, man. They always were concerned with the times. You know, how close are we to getting out of here? You know, when is Yahushua going to return? The apostles asked Yahushua, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel, man? Right? They're always concerned. Let's read on. Verse 46. What is past I know, but what is to come I know not. I mean, I know about Moses. I know about the creation. I know about David. I know these things. But what's to come, I don't know. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. I mean, I'm going to show you. Right? Do we have more time to come, or less time till Yahushua returns? Right? And again, our fathers were always concerned with that, man. They're not concerned with the times, right? Nobody is asking, well, how soon, you know, how much time do we have left? Are we almost on our way out of here? They're not looking at that, man. They're not measuring the times. I kind of quoted this in Acts 1. Let me get it. What the apostles asked in Acts chapter 1 and verse 6. It reads, when they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So when Yahushua resurrected, he was there for 40 days, 40 nights, dealing with the apostles before Pentecost. They asked him, Lord, hold on. Is this the time when you're going to, destroy the Roman Empire? Is this it? Is this what we've all been waiting for? That was on the mind of the apostles, man. They wasn't looking for who's going to be the next Caesar. Like Jake is, who's going to be the next president? Who's going to be the next mayor? They was looking to get the hell out of here. Right? Let's get another quick precept on that, on our father's mentality. Man, that should be your mentality. Right? That should be all of our mentalities. How soon are we to getting out of here, man? Right? Let's get Second Ezra chapter 6 real quick. Right? Let's go to the 6th chapter and Second Ezra. If you're not looking to get up out of here, then your mind ain't right, man. That's one of the traits of the elect. If you know, one of the signs of the elect is they're always looking to get up out of here. Right? This Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse number 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Right? That's what Ezra said. These damn nations are nothing, but now they rule over us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. So the chosen people are being ruled by people who have always been known for being nothing. Here's the point. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Nobody's asking this. You got thousands of podcasts. You got thousands of people interviewing people at shopping malls. It's on TikTok, Instagram. People interviewing people at Times Square, at the grocery store. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Ain't nobody asking this, though. I've never seen that one podcast or TikTok that Jake is on where they're asking, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? Why am I in the ghettos? Why am I in the slums? How long am I going to be here? When is this going to be over with? Ain't nobody asking that except the men of the Most High. They're asking, how long shall this endure? Even the spirits that were martyred for Yahweh, they're asking that in Revelation, the 6th chapter. Right? Let me get that in Revelation 6. Revelation chapter 6 and verse number 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. So they were under the altar, right? Because that's where the blood would be poured. When you read Leviticus, the 4th chapter, you would take the blood and pour it at the bottom of the altar, right? Which represents an atonement and a sacrifice. So these men gave their life up for the knowledge of God, for the fear and faith of the Most High, right? And John actually saw men who were put to death because they believed in this truth. Imagine that, man. That's how serious this thing is. This thing ain't a game, man. This truth ain't about debates. It ain't about views. It ain't about vainglory. Are you going to put your life on the line when it comes to it? Are you going to die for the Most High? Are you going to do for the Most High what Yahweh did for you? How much do you love the Lord, man? Well, let's see what these men asked. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? When are we going to get out of here, Lord? When you going to kill these damn devils, man? They chopped my head off, man. They tortured me. I didn't do nothing. I kept the commandments. I believe, Lord, when are you going to do something about this? And they in the third heaven, man. They ain't giving the Lord no rest in righteousness. When are you going to judge and avenge? That should be our mind, man. Stop getting enamored and caught up in this damn world. We don't belong here, man. We ain't supposed to be here in America, man. On this side of the world, man. Eating this nasty food, man. Drinking all God knows what kind of water you got, man. Wearing these damn clothes, man. Working for these nations, man. This ain't life. How come we can't get that through our damn mind, man? Our fathers know that. They always been on that time. When we going to get up out of here, man? Like kids in the back seat on their way to God knows where. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No matter how many times they hear, we'll get there when we get there. No, we're not there yet. 10 more minutes, 2 more hours. They still ask, are we there yet? Because they're children, right? And you got to be like a little child in this thing, right? Verse 11. And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And that's a hell of an answer right there. The Lord said, you want to know when I'm going to avenge you? You want to know? Here's when I'm going to avenge you. When there are other men like you that are willing to die. Once we get those other men like you that are willing to die, and they do die, then I'm going to deliver you. There's a set number of fellow servants, Israelites, in the last days that are going to be killed. Only the Most High knows that number. Once that number maxes out, that's when the destruction is going to happen. But its destruction is only going to happen when there is men that are willing and that do die for the Lord. Remember, everybody's not going to be on the earth alive in the flesh when the chariots come. If you think that every single Israelite is going to be literally alive on the earth when the chariots come, you don't know what's going on. Don't you know that there are men that God has reserved to die for him? Just so those men that are alive can live? If you understand, these men that are alive on the earth in the last days can only live if men die. That's always been a program. That's all in the Gospels. Yahweh Shah has exhibited that through his ministry. So this is the mind that our forefathers had. How long, O Lord, holy and true? Right? Let's go back to 2nd Esdras. Right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras 4 and let's see, 30. Let's see, let me get this. 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and 33. Then I answered and said, right, this 2nd Esdras 4 and 33. How and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? Yeah, why are my years few and evil? Why do I die at the age of 80? Why do I get sick? Why do I have arthritis? Why do my lungs hurt? Why does my back hurt? Why does this happen? Why do I go through this? Few and evil, right? And he answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the Most High, for thy haste is in vain to be above him, for thou hast much exceeded. Man, don't you stepping outside of your place. Stay in your lane, right? Let me try to figure out the Most High like that, man. You're a man, you know. The angel said, I'm about to put you on game. I'm about to tell you something in the next verse. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? So the Lord said, you have men that died. This links up with Revelation 6. In their chambers, they're in a particular lot in the spirit world. Men are always asking. If you ain't doing it, men in the third heaven asking, right? When are we going to get rewarded for this? Verse 36. And unto these things, Uriel, the archangel, gave them answer. So in the third heaven, those men that are asking, when are they going to be avenged? Uriel is there in the third heaven and answered them in their respective chamber of souls. This didn't happen on the earth. This happened in the heavens. Uriel is telling these men, the Most High told Uriel, hey, go talk to those men, man, in the third heaven. And unto these things, Uriel, the archangel, gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So the Lord got everything on the timer. Everything's on the timer, right? The sun is on a timer, has its course. The moon has its course. Constellations have their course. We have our time that the Most High gave us, 70 years, 80 years, right? You know, everybody has, and everything is on a timer. The beasts are on a timer, right? The bears hibernate on a timer, right? Generations and empires are set to rule for, 50 years, 200 years, 250 years. Everything's measured. How long the summer season is, how long the rain season is, how long you're going to be in the third heaven, how long that generation is going to be on the earth. All these things are measured by the Most High. So our forefathers in the spirit, they always inquired on when these things are going to happen. Ezra asked the Lord, is there more to come? Or, is there less to come? Let's read on at 2nd Esdras 4. We're going to go back to 2nd Esdras 4. And we're going to jump to we're going to go back to where we left off. I'm going to jump down 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and 47. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So he's going to show them if we're closer to the end of the world or not. So I stood and saw, and behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when a flame was going by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. After this, there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with the storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. Then he said unto me, then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind, so the quantity which is passed did more exceed. So what does that mean? It means that we're closer to the finish line, right? We're closer to the finish line than as if you thought that we were in the beginning of the race. We're damn near done. The fire is the pinnacle, but that smoke is the remaining. There's less smoke than the fire. You know, when you have a huge storm, that huge storm is the pinnacle. Right after that, you might have a few small drops. We're in the days of the smoke and the small drops. So all of the major events of life and of man have happened already. And we got this much time left. We got this much damn time left, and Jake is still playing around. The Most High just told you the quantity which is past did more exceed. Don't you know man been on the earth for thousands of years, man? Don't you know these are called the last days for a reason? The end of the world, the end of all flesh, the end of an age. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This is called, what we're doing, we're measuring the times. When we do current events, when we're watching, when we're looking at the prophecies, we are measuring the times. And we begin to understand that the quantity which is past did more exceed. Right? Let me get that in 2nd Ezra 9 for brothers that don't know. Right? Or are unfamiliar with that. Right? I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's one of my favorite verses. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 1. It reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And the Most High is big on time, man. He's big on measuring the times. Everything's very calculated, meticulous with Yahweh Bashmi Awashad. Like any king. Every king has everything in order, man. They don't just, move off of emotions. Everything is planned, it's precise, and it's in order. So the Lord told Ezra to measure the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So measuring the time is having your Bible, looking at the scriptures, looking at the prophecies, and at the same time, you're looking at what the Most High is doing on the earth. And you're looking at that and saying, hold on, that's happening. That's this prophecy right here. Okay, then I see Russia and Iran linking up. Okay, that's Revelation 16. Revelation 16, okay, that's saying that's going to happen after this prophecy. So as you watch different events on the earth, you're putting the timeline together in your mind based off of the Bible and the prophecies. So you're looking at how close we are to getting out of here. That's measuring the time, right? That's what the Lord told Ezra. So let's read on in 2nd Ezra, chapter 4 and 51. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou unto that time? Or what shall happen in those days? Right? I mean, his mind, this is a beautiful mind to have. What's going to happen in those days, man? We're going to get out of here. Always asking, always asking. He wasn't looking for money, man. He wasn't looking for fame. He wasn't looking to make it to be, well, I'm in Babylon, I'm in captivity, so I'm going to kind of get it how I can. Okay, I'm in captivity. The Lord said, build your houses and dwell in them. Take you wives and do this. And Hey, when the Lord told Ezra that he could go back, and he was out of there, man. That should be our mind. Stop loving this society. Stop getting enchanted, man. You got brothers falling out the truth, taking their foot off the gas, getting lukewarm, taking their hand off the plow, adding more hobbies to their life, man, taking on more hours away from the ministry, more jobs, more pastimes, more wives, man, freaking off. Don't read like they used to. They don't study how they used to. They don't pray how they used to. They're not in the spirit. Just going off, man. And the Holy Spirit is going to leave you. And it's leaking out of you like air in the damn tire. And the worst part about it is they don't know that air is leaking out of them. You try to tell them, hey, your tire kind of looking flat. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Then you see it deflated more. Hey, you might want, fix that. Nah, I got it. I'll get around to it. Tell them the third time, hey, look, man, you need to, do a fix it flat, patch it up, get a new tire. Hey, look, I think I even see a nail in your tire. Well, I'll get to it when I get to it. Till they driving, damn tire, damn deflate on them, get all jammed up, they get into an accident, right? Swerve off a bridge, fall off, man. Because they can't take the damn correction. They don't even want to check. Even if you thought your tire was deflated, you might want to look at it. I mean, I hear what this, but let me look at it. Right? A lot of brothers don't want to look at it, if you understand. Examine your spirit. Let's read on. 2nd Ezra 4:41. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, unto that time? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell of them in part. But as touching thy life, I am not sent to show thee, for I do not know it. So the Uriel, the archangel, he said, I don't even know how long you're supposed to be on the earth. The Most High ain't tell me that. So angels their knowledge is very limited. Right? They know certain things, and there are things the Most High don't tell them. Now, this is the archangel. He didn't even know how long Ezra's spirit was supposed to be on the earth. That wasn't, the Most High didn't reveal that to him. But he said, what I can give you is I can tell you what's going to happen in the last days, but I can only tell you in part. Why can he only tell them in part? Because every prophet received visions in part. Daniel saw things that Ezra didn't see, but Daniel saw them in part. John the Revelator saw things that Ezekiel didn't see. All of the prophets, they saw these things in part, not in whole. Only the Most High has it in whole. He the Most High. Even Yahweh Shai was given knowledge in part. He doesn't even know when he's going to return. The only one that doesn't, only spirit that doesn't have it in part is Yahweh. Right? Let's get that in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. See, we prophesy. Even we have it in part. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse number 12. It reads, for now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even also. It's like even as also I am known. See, right now, we're seeing through a glass darkly. We can't really make out what's in that room right there, right? The lights are off. It's dark. It's not as if nothing's in the room. Don't get me wrong. There's something there, but we can't see it. Just because something is dark doesn't mean that there's nothing there. It's just covered. So the glass that we're looking at is these scriptures, right? And we're looking at the word of the Most High. And we see it darkly because there are things that the Most High have not revealed unto us. We can only see Yahweh Shai in part. because he's manifest as the word, as a spirit. But then we're going to see Yahushua face to face when he returns to deliver us. All right, that's going to be a time, you know. Now I know in part. What does that mean? Now I know in part. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. I don't know what Yahushua is going to do exactly when he returns, and who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. You know how the destruction is going to look. We don't know. But then shall I know, even as also I am known. Now, doesn't the Most High know us? He got our hairs numbered, right? We were measured from the womb. Say that in Psalms 139. You know, the Lord knows our thoughts. The same way that the Lord knows us, we're going to know Yahweh Shah. Then shall I know this word, even the same way the Lord knows me. And that's some heavy stuff right there, man. So we have knowledge coming to us, right? So the Lord is about to show Ezra certain prophecies, but he's going to show them in part. Okay? And that's what we're going to touch on. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 1. Right? Let's read this. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 1. It reads, so I can bear with me. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So tokens are signs. Another word for a token in the ancient world is a sign. Like, okay, show me a sign, and I split the Red Sea. Show me a sign. I have lightning come down from heaven. Show me a sign. Earth splits open. Another way of saying a sign is show me a token. Okay. Now, one of the tokens or signs of the end of the world is what? That they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, meaning massive death. Massive death. Taken doesn't mean, okay, took them on a cruise. Okay, the Lord took them out, to play mini golf with them, and they had to. No, massive death and a great number. These are one of the signs of the end of the world. Let's get this in Luke, right, concerning being taken. Right, we're going to get down to this fifth trumpet, or the third trumpet, Salakia, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shah. Let's go to Luke 17. I wanted to get this. What does it mean that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number? This is Luke 17 and 34. Taken meaning put to death, right? Taken from the earth and put back in the spirit world. Your spirit taken from you. Luke 17 and 34. I tell you, and that night there shall be two men in one bed, the one shall be taken and the other left. So one man's going to get put to death, the other man's still going to be alive. Two women shall be grinding together, the one shall be taken and the other left. One woman made it, one woman put to death. Two men shall be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. And they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. So they said, Lord, where's it going to be taken to? Yahushua told him. He said, wherever you find that body that was taken, there's going to be eagles there. Why eagles? Because they're going to be eating the carcass of that body. So to be taken, it means to be killed. Because the eagles are there to eat your flesh after you are put to death. Remember, the prophecy says in Revelation 19, the Lord called all the fowls of the air. Right? Let me get that Revelation 19. Right? To eat the flesh. Revelation 19 and 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God. So all vultures, buzzards, eagles, They have a feast, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. So men that are taken are men that are going to be devoured by the fowls of the air, by the beasts of the field. Many men in 2nd Ezra 5 are going to be taken. Now, how are they going to be taken? By famine and by war. Those are the two primary ways about how men is going to be taken. Let's get a precept. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah 15:1. This is Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse number 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. The Lord said, can nobody make intercession for the Israelites at this point? Because they're so off. Moses made intercession. Samuel made intercession. The Lord says, even if they came before me and said, Lord, save them, Lord said, no. That's how bad it's about to be. That's how bad it was, too. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus said the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So, I mean, it's 1,000 ways to die, man. You get torn alive by wild beasts, killed by the sword, guns, death, famine. Now, they say that the population's like, what, 8 billion or so on the earth, man? It's going to greatly reduce, right? Greatly reduce when the wars kick off. It should be taken in great number. And one more quick precept on that. The Lord said it, let's get a precept in 2nd Ezra 16, right? This 2nd Ezra 16 and verse number, let's start at 22. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Man, a lot of people are going to die in a famine. Yes, there's going to be a famine of the word, but there's going to be an actual, literal famine, limited to no food and no water. And many people aren't going to have access to food and water. And many people are going to die. They're going to starve to death. They're going to eat out of trash cans so there's no more food. Eat out of dumpsters, break it into stores, looting, robbing, murdering, killing, eating trees, leaves off a tree, grass, each other. People are going to be eating people. Well, I don't believe that. Well, go back and read 2 Kings, man, the 6th chapter. Right? Go back and read that, man. Tell me if people was eating people, man. Read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You had them 2 women in 2 Kings 6. She boiled her son. Go read that. And they ate her son, man. Then the next day they said, okay, well, it's time to eat your son. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. What son? That's not, hey, that was off, man. What do you mean? What son? I don't have a son. But your son tastes good. All right? Got a damn toothpick in her mouth. What son? You know? So people gonna be losing their mind, man. People gonna be losing their damn mind in these days. That's why we read in 2nd Ezra 5, people are gonna be taken in great number. And guess what, man? You're not gonna have enough ambulances, CSI crime scenes, morticians, what they call them, cadavers, body bags. Hospitals are going to max out. People in the hospitals are going to die. There's going to be dead bodies just on the ground. Literally dead carcasses just on the ground rotting. That smell that's coming is going to be intolerable. Nobody's ever smelled. I mean, brothers probably smelled one dead body. You ain't smelled 35,000, 20,000 burnt flesh. Well, I was overseas. I served in. Okay, you served overseas. Okay. All praises you made it back, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Anybody gonna be burying these bodies, man? Well, what about Tobit? Tobit ain't here, man. It's just gonna be carcasses all throughout the streets. Let's read on. People gonna be looting the carcasses, man, patting their pockets, taking stuff out the carcasses, man. Somebody might have died with a pearl necklace on. They're gonna snatch that pearl necklace, try to sell it for a slice of bread. This stuff about to get real, man. That's why one of the titles for this was Dystopia. Let me pull that up. See, that's what we covering. A dystopian society, right? And these are some of my kind of favorite movies, man. Dystopian movies. You know, I'm not a big sci-fi person, but I will watch a dystopian movie. So the word dystopia is the opposite of utopia. Dystopia, let's get the definition. See if they get it. A dystopia is an imagined society. Now it's an imagined, because only the so-called white man would think that this stuff ain't coming. He said that's an imagined. What it says in Psalms 49 that their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. And their dwelling places to all generations. So, of course, in his mind and his own damn artificial intelligence is programmed to say imagine. No, this thing is about to happen. Ain't no damn imagination. This thing is real. Right? An imagined society characterized by immense suffering, oppression, and injustice. That's Babylon the Great. Serving as the opposite of a utopia, meaning a perfect world, and often used in fiction to critique current societal trends or political systems. Now check this out. These fictional, we know it's going to be nonfiction, these fictional worlds feature totalitarian control. We know they're doing that, man. Digital ID and stalking you and taking away your free speech, and you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't think this, you can't think that. Totalitarian control, loss of individuality, right? Yeah, you all have to serve Satan. You all are part of the New World Order. Yeah, one of the mottos of the World Economic Forum is you will own nothing and be happy. That's part of their mottos. You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy about it. So people are going to lose their individuality. And that's what happens when you have a melting pot. When you bring all nations together, all philosophies, all ethnicities and ideologies, people begin to lose their individuality. If then you mold them to your own system, that's what happens, right? Constant surveillance. Yeah, drones. They're using drones now, man. Drones in the highway, you know, tracking you, scanning you. Got your phone. They know you, man. What you bought, your purchase history. Always going to Palantir and Gotham and these other AI third-party surveillance things, man. Monitoring your social media. Hey, a brother sent today in the chat, man. He sent he was applying for a job. He had a job. He had a thing going on. He was doing this thing. But part of the job, they said that let me see what they said, man. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But they pretty much came out and said, we're watching you, man. You know? Let me pull this up real quick. They pretty much came out, the brother sent it. It says, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Let's see if I can find this. Now, some jobs do this already, but it's going to intensify. So they run a report and they said these reports may contain information regarding your criminal history, social security verification, motor vehicle records. Okay, that's normal. Education or employment history. Here's where they switch it up. Social media history or other background checks. So they're going to be checking your social media. You know, what do you buy? Are you an Israelite? Are you not? You know, are you part of these hate groups, anti-Christian, anti-this? That's that constant surveillance, right? That's all part of that dystopian society. Propaganda and dehumanization, exploring themes of technology's dangers, environmental collapse, or oppressive regimes. So here, I'm going to read this too. Key characteristics of a dystopian society. And everything that we read about in 2nd Ezra 16, 2nd Ezra 15, Revelation, all link up about a dystopian kingdom. Even though it's already going on right now, it's going to wax worse and worse, right? Oppressive control, often ruled by a totalitarian government, corporation, or technology. That's your AI, your digital ID, and your Illuminati, Illuministic families that run the earth. That's oppressive control, right? What you could buy, here's who could buy, here's who could shop, here's who can get a job, here's who can have a transaction, here's who can go to school, here's who can travel, here's who can leave the country, here's who can't do it, all of that stuff, right? I even had, well, I'm going to hold that. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, right? So we covered this point, right? They should be taken in a great number. Let's read on to 2nd Ezra 5. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. What does it mean, the way of truth shall be hidden? Right? There should be a few words that come to your mind. Famine of the word. Right? Famine of the word. The way of truth is going to be hidden. That's one of the signs of the end of the world. Right? Let's go to Isaiah real quick. Right? 55 and 6. Did I finish? Yeah, I finished that. Right? So Isaiah 55 and 6, Salakia. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. So that's why the Lord telling you that, man. Right? Get this truth while you can, man. Some brothers don't even have an apocrypha yet. Some brothers haven't even read the Bible yet. They've been in this thing for damn 5 years, man. Some brothers been in this truth for 1 year. You haven't even escaped the book of Deuteronomy yet. You're still in Deuteronomy. You've been in Deuteronomy for 5 months, brother. Seek the Lord, man. You have access to the Most High's grace through repentance. You can repent now. You can pray for wisdom. Pray for that demon to leave you. Pray that the Most High set you up in the Spirit, man. Give you the Holy Spirit. Do it while you can, because it's going to be taken away. Let's go to Ezekiel 3, right? Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse number 24. It reads, Then the Spirit entered into me and set me upon my feet and spake with me and said unto me, Go, shut thyself within thine house. The Lord told the prophet Ezekiel, go inside in your house, man. Stop reproving the people. Stop teaching them. It's over with. It's done. And that spirit is about to be back on the earth. The Most High is going to remove the men of the Lord from the highways and byways, man. The Most High is going to remove the men of the Lord from the highways and byways. That's going to happen. It will happen. But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. So the Lord's going to make the prophets cease from teaching through laws of this government, through the Spirit of the Most High, through legislation, through persecution, right? The Most High is going to be done, right? And Lord willing, man, we can't wait to that day. We can't wait until that day where the Most High just completely just closed the door. Because once that door is closed, once they had these laws and stuff put into place where you can't go out and teach, and hey, you counting the seconds, man. You counting the seconds. And this is another way on how the way of truth is going to be hidden and taken from the earth. Because the Most High, through his spirit, he'll put a spirit on these devils and these Edomites to put laws into play. So you can't go out there and teach. That's the Most High doing. That's his doing. Well, I thought Esau passed the law. I thought, well, yeah, Esau did it, but I mean, it's of the Most High. Don't you know? Where is this at? Where is this at? Pull this up. This is what they said in Australia. This is what they said in Australia. You know, Australia always on some madness, man. They're always on some madness, man. I would hate to be an Israelite in Australia. It's lucky, right? But it says it's from telegraph.co.uk, right? December 23rd. This is when the article was made. Free speech will have to go to preserve multiculturalism, right? Meaning, look, you Israelites, man, you can't be out there getting on the other nations, man. We're gonna have to go. That's all that free speech, going out there saying what you want to say, what's on your mind, you know, your God-given rights, man. Hey, to hell with that. That's in Australia. He says it's gonna have to go. It's over with, right? I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I see now they want you to buy it, but you know, he pretty much came out and said this. You can find the rest of it on your own. That's in Australia. Now, this is something that's not just in Australia. This is all over the West. When I say the West, Western European powers. Australia's way out, you know, they're way out there, but Australia is nothing but a European country overseas, man. I mean, that's all it is. Right? They're part of this system too. Them in America are like this, right? And they're Edomites too. But this is also in Canada. December 24th, 2025. Canada's Combating Hate Act hates religious freedom. So now Canada got laws out there where they're saying that you can't even preach the Bible publicly. And they're putting that into play. Yes, they're saying that you can't go out there with a Bible and read the word of God. Now, if you read certain things and it kind of upsets people, it's hate speech, and you're going to damn jail. You're going to jail. Now, check this out. A new Canadian bill that seeks to strengthen existing hate speech law in the country has worrying implications for expensive and religious freedoms. Tabled in September, the Combating Hate Act by Bill C9 was controversial from the get-go and garnered opposition from an impressively diverse coalition of organizations and creeds. So it's not just the Israelites. That's their primary focus. But they can't just come out and target the Israelites. So they have to target a broad group of people with the intention of really coming after the men of the Lord. So a lot of different organizations are speaking up, right? Now check this out. It reads, so this links back up with 2 Ezra 5. This is all before the third trumpet. All this will be going into this before the third trumpet. We have yet to talk about literally life after the third trumpet, right? But we have to touch on this, right? Let's read on. Law professor Bruce Party, a witness at the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights, tasked with examining the bill, said that C9 would put Canada on a similar path to Britain, where 12,000 arrests for broadly, quote unquote, offensive social media posts were made in 2023. So we see what the world has turned into. The Lord said in Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. Oh, brother, you really don't know what's going to happen. You got to wait. No, we don't have to wait for a damn thing, man. I mean, through the Holy Spirit, the Most High has given us prudence, which is the Spirit. So we're able to discern based off of a pattern of behavior, what's the next thing to fall into place? Australia, Britain, England, America, all Western European powers are all putting laws into play to stop us from doing the work of God. Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. Party later went on to warn that the law gives the government the discretion to decide that you have stepped over the line without you being able to tell. It's like without you being able to tell you that you stepped over the line. So that's the last person or people or entity you want to have the discretion. You're going to be caught out there. Hey, look, you stepped over the line. You went to the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and 25. You said that the first came out red all over. That's hate speech, right? That's racist. Don't read Romans 9 and 13. If we catch anybody out there reading these few verses, that's hate speech. Now, if I'm not mistaken, man, maybe this was like 2 years ago. I can't remember that article, but there was a link or article. I think it came from the ADL. They actually had certain verses that they said is anti-Semitic, biblical verses. Let me see if I can pull that up again. Biblical, anti-Semitic, biblical. Let me see if I can find this. Like, yeah, I wasn't prepared to go into this, but they actually had certain verses that were what they called anti-Semitic. Let's see. Boy, I have to find them. And I pulled it up maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. But there was an entire article on that. You know, I'll have to find it. But they have certain verses they said you can't use that. It's anti-Semitic. Maybe if I'll find it, I'll put it on the comment board, you know, or the description. Okay, here. Yep, here was one. Matthew 27 and 25. That was one. Let's see. Let's see. Anti-Semitism and Christianity. So there were the point is there were certain verses. Look at this. The Gospel of John exhibits a hostile tone toward the Jews. This is madness, right? Particularly in verses like John 5 and 16, John 6 and 52, John 7 and 13, John 8 and 44, John 10 and 31. Hey, John is one of my favorite books in the Bible, man. Right? John is up there. And others, which also implicate them in Jesus' death. So they're going to have certain verses that you can't read. It's going to be hate speech. They catch you reading the book of John. They caught you in the algorithm. They recorded that, flagged that channel, shut it down. You know? So, and there are other verses too. So the point of the matter is the government is going to be able to look at what you're saying and saying, look, you kind of stepped over the line. You should have stayed in the book of Genesis. You was in the book of John. Put your hands up, hands behind your back. Right? We're going to have to bring you in for questioning. This is what the world, this is that dystopian world, you know, that we're in, but that's going to wax worse. Let's read a little bit more in this article. It reads, that was all before a hastily constructed amendment was added in early December that would remove a central defense embedded within a criminal code statutes, the good faith and religious defense. So they don't care about good faith and religion anymore. If you're going off according to their mind, and you're speaking against the system, New World Order, and the so-called Jew, they don't care about your religion. At one point in time, America being a country, allegedly, founded on biblical principles. In God we trust. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, right? Puritans and people that once believed in God, allegedly, right? I'm being, sarcastic, but that's what they said. At one point in time, your freedom of religion, was untouchable. But as the truth is continually coming out and being made manifest, and you speaking against them, they say, hey, look, man, to hell with that. To hell with that. Right? So I'm gonna read a little bit more on this, and then I'm gonna kind of move on. It reads, boy, this is, man, you gotta read this whole article. I don't have time to read the whole thing, but I encourage and implore you, brothers, to read this, man. Right? Read this thing. So I'm gonna read this part. The new act also, you can say, well, why I'm not in Canada. That would be foolish to say I'm not in Canada. You don't have to be in Canada. This is all the beast, right? This is the beast. The new act also removes the obligation of the police to gain the consent of the Attorney General to pursue hate speech prosecutions and introduces a new intimidation of offense that will criminalize the act of intentionally instilling fear to impede access. So they could do whatever they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do to protect so-called safety, right? They could do whatever they want to do. Right? Check this out. Following Fortin's questioning, Miller exercised his prerogative as chair to interrogate Ross on the meaning of good faith. In Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Romans, there's other passages. There is clear hatred towards, for example, homosexuals, man. Only a homosexual would be mad about that, man. So if you're in Leviticus 20 and 13, right? Leviticus 18:22, Deuteronomy, the 13th chapter and other chapters. You're in Romans, the 1st chapter. That's hate speech. You better not read Leviticus 18 and 22 at camp, man. You're going to jail. Now, I'm saying that sarcastically. Well, the brother said, don't read that. If you don't read it, you're going off, man. Well, brother, I don't want to go to jail, brother. You got to, I'm going to tell you something too, man. A lot of jakes, they're going to say, you got to use wisdom. You got to use wisdom. If a homosexual comes up, right, and you got to use wisdom, Ak. You can't go to that verse right there. Just kind of ignore that because you're going off. You're going off. Don't tell him you're homosexual. You know what? Matter of fact, just change the subject. You don't think the Lord sees that, man? The Lord said, cursed be the man that keepeth back his sword from blood. Last time I read that, man. Now, you're going to have to use wisdom to a degree. Like some brothers use code words. They say small hat, Amalek, which is biblical and other things. But hey, it's going to get to the point, man, you can't code this. You can only code it up for so long. So they say this stuff you're getting against homosexuals, man. So they already cut out the book of John. And then they cutting off 2 books out the Torah, and they cut out Romans because you have hate towards homosexuals in your heart. Now check this out. It says, this is madness. This is madness. This is my first time reading this. Well, I didn't read this whole thing before. Hold on, where is this at? I just saw something. Look at this. Ross retorted, if members of parliament are of the view that passages of the Bible are hateful, that's something that Canadians should be aware of. So we see that the Bible is becoming a targeted book, okay? A targeted book. Look, Leviticus 20 and 13, Deuteronomy 22 and 2, which prescribe death to adulterers and homosexuals. It's as simple as that. So you can't read that either. This is what's going on in Canada, right? So the way of truth shall be hidden. That's what we read in 2nd Ezra 5. Now, there's another thing I want to play before I get back to 2nd Ezra 5. Let me play this, right? Before I get right back to it. Now, a brother sent this earlier. I wasn't able to find the original link, right? But I'm going to have to just play it off the screen. So bear with me. Then I'm going to go back to 2nd Ezra 5. The Lord said, the way of truth shall be hidden. So check this out, right?
What I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say, and I want you to save or share this because some platforms are going to try to take it down or bury it. This is
hold on. This is fair use.
Countering domestic terrorism.
Hold on, fair use. I
want you to pay attention.
Listen to now. The Most High, he be them whistleblowers, man. The Most High be using these whistleblowers. Check out what he said about America. We read about Australia. We read about Canada. Check out what he said about Babylon the Great.
I'm going to say, and I want you to save or share this because some platforms are going to try to take it down or bury it. This is NSPM 7, Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, and it just got signed. And buried inside of it are a series of traps. It says the government can treat anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian views as indicators of political violence. This allows them to target people they will label as potentially politically violent. The goal of NSPM 7 is to give the government the authority to arrest and charge people before they actually do anything illegal. This is about ideology. And pay attention, because NSPM 7 broadly gives them the authority to label and arrest anyone who supports the overthrow of the U.S. government, supports extremism on migration, supports extremism on race or gender, and it also includes going after people who have hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, hostility for those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility for those who hold traditional American views on morality. And they slipped in civil disorder, which can mean almost anything. All those statements are very broad and ambiguous, and that's by design. When dissent is defined as anti-American, any protest can be labeled anti-American. Question capitalism, you're an anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian nationalism or religion in schools, you're anti-Christian. It's not an accident. Broad language is a weapon. Suppose ICE kicks in some doors in a city and there's a protest. And if you join, even peacefully, they could call that anti-American or civil disorder. You call out a corporation for exploitative practices. They could call that anti-capitalist. Criticize Christian political ideology, you're anti-Christian. This gives them cover to stretch definitions however they want. The worst part, you won't see it instantly, and that's how authoritarian change happens. One day you'll wake up and say, why can't I say this? Or since when is that illegal? This is the playbook. Once they have the cover to treat thought and ideology as threat, they escalate. Surveillance of dissidents and organizers, prosecutions under broad terrorism labels, deploying federal forces inside cities, media and speech control, purging or silencing dissent. I'm not asking you to panic. I'm asking you to fucking pay attention. Don't just shrug and scroll. Share this. Demand your media talk about it. Don't normalize repression, because in a year or two.
So you heard what he said, right? You heard what he said. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra. All right, let's go back to 2nd Ezra 5. All right, you heard what he said, man. So that's why the prophecy says this. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 1 again. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come. It's like it, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number. That's massive death, by famine, by the sword, and the way of truth shall be hidden. We know why. And the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2, 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that how Slakia. Let me read that again. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So sin is also going to increase, right? Murder, war, child molestation, pedophilia, homosexuality, adultery, wickedness, confusion. The sin is also going to increase, right? You know, Yahweh Shah said that, man. Let's get that. Right? Yahweh Shah also said that sin is going to increase, man. You see these generations now, man, these YNs and what they call YNs and Edomites and it's like your wickedness and confusion. You see this, right? Matthew chapter 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. So people gonna wax cold, man. People stone cold killers. Rape is going to increase. Women getting grabbed up, man, when there's no order. Children getting grabbed up, sold, eaten. Houses getting broken into. No police. I remember there was a time where 911 wasn't working. What was that, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, man? People couldn't call 911. Ain't gonna be no damn 911, man. Everybody's gonna be looking to live. And everybody's gonna be in the box. And everybody's gonna be looking at how to survive for them, their women and their children. People gonna be kicking down doors of their neighbors, man. That's in the Apocrypha, 2 Ezra 15, 14 on down. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall spoil their houses because of lack of bread and for great tribulation, paraphrasing. That neighbor that you know, man, that you borrowed a cup of sugar for, man, they invited you to their neighborhood cookout. You had a cold one and had a beer. He gonna run out of food. And he gonna be nice for a minute, man, until he not so nice. Next thing you know, you sleep. You hear your damn glass break in your back window. And him and his 2 sons coming in there going through your stuff. You down there coming down the steps with a damn baseball bat, man, trying to figure out what's going on. And all you hear is 2 gunshots and you duck with your baseball bat. And you run upstairs and they coming after you, man. Grab you up, pistol whip you upside the back of the head, man. Blow your children brains out, tie your woman up captive, man. Deal with your woman, take your food, and they out of there. That's in the Bible, man. Right? Well, you might, that's a bit extreme. Look, people are going to lose their mind, right? This 2 Ezra chapter 15, right? And verse number 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. See, we want to tell you like it is, man. One thing about us through the spirit of power, we're going to tell you straight up how this thing is going to go down, man. We're not going to, we don't care if you get emotional. We don't care about those emotions. I don't like the way you said that. We don't care, man. We're going to tell you the pure, unadulterated truth, so you can prepare your spirit. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So people are going to be robbing, breaking into houses, looting, stealing, taking what they want to take, and sin is going to increase more and more and more, right? More and more till Yahushua returns, to the time of threshing. 2 Ezra chapter 5 and 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. So look at the land that has root. What land do you see has root? America. When it says it has root, it has a foundation through their currency, through laws, through policies. America is prospering. Although, yeah, they're trillions of dollars in debt, and yes, they, other nations hate them, they still have root. People still there's traffic on the highways. It's not a ghost town, right? There's commerce. There's still a GDP. There's imports coming in every day. There's limited exports, right? I mean, people are still buying, and they had $1 trillion on holiday sales. The land that you see now is going to be wasted suddenly. And all these other lands. What's going to waste these lands? The waster, right? War. Let's get that. Isaiah chapter 54 and 16. When you watch the movies like I Am Legend, The Book of Eli, and I had another movie, man, years ago with Forrest Whitaker. I can't think of the name of it right now, but they showed the land wasted, man. They had the movie. There's so many movies now that the Most High is putting out there. God damn, man, what's that movie, man? It just came out. You probably saw it with the ship, and it was approaching the beach, and this is how it ends. Is that it? This is how it ends. Let me see. Oh, that wasn't it. And but this was one of them. This was another dystopian movie, man. You see how the land look? This is what Second Ezra 5 is talking about. The land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. It's going to be wasted. Right? That's that movie, I Am Legend. You know? Bridges broken down, population decreased. You might see a man with a gun, or you might see a clan of men. Leave the world behind. That's what it is. Leave the world behind. Right? See that? Leave the world behind, man. And why are these movies made? Who really made it? The Most High. He put in the spirit of these people to make it so you can understand how this thing is going to go down. Is it going to go down word for word according to their script? No. But the spirit behind it is going to be made manifest. The spirit behind it. So the Lord said the land that you see is going to be wasted. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 54 and 16. So there are two major ways that Second Ezra 5 and 3 is going to happen. The land is going to be wasted by means of war and by means of civil unrest, right? Civil wars, race wars, riots. That's how the land is going to be wasted, by civil unrest and by war, right? This Isaiah chapter 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So the waster is another name for the missiles, the bombs that are going to be issued out from different parts of the earth, and they're going to waste the land. Buildings, bridges, banks, grocery stores, condominiums, apartment complexes, schools, hospitals, law firms, cul-de-sacs, and communities are going to be wasted. That's one way. Another way is by means of war and by means of the people. Right? Let's get this in. I want to get a precept in First Chronicles. Right? I want to get a precept in the book of First Chronicles, chapter 20. Right? So this thing happens by domestic war and international war. First Chronicles 20 and 1. And it came to pass that after the year was expired, at the time that kings go out to battle, it's around the springtime, Joab led forth the power of the army and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah, but David tarried at Jerusalem, and Joab smote Rabbah and destroyed it. So who wasted the country? The people. They were burning buildings down, burning towers, tearing down walls, kicking doors down, breaking down wood, lighting stuff on fire, looting, robbing. They totally are not, and they were killing people, man. And they wasted the country. So when you go back to Second Ezra 5, when the Lord said this, Second Ezra 5 and 3, and the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. That's by war. Domestic war, by the people robbing, burning buildings down. When you look at even the riots in the late 60s, you had the Detroit riots, the Chicago riots, the LA riots, the Watts riots, all these riots. When you look at how the city looked after those riots, it was wasted, man. Let's pull up see the Detroit riots. Let's do aftermath, right? Let's get a picture of the aftermath. So this is how these cities are going to look. Everything you see around you is going to change. I don't care what city you're in. If you're in LA, if you're in a small town, you're in Miami, you're in New York, it's buildings are going to be on fire. Thick clouds of smoke are going to be in the air. People running, right? You're going to be walking. People just going to be running past you screaming. Suit and dust and scars on their face. You're going to see children walking by themselves, man, lonely, screaming, mommy, mommy, dad, where are you? People running around, coming out of stores, man, jumping out of windows. Women getting beat up in the alley. You know, men robbing, shooting. It's going to be horrible times out there. Now, this is just after the riots. Look at this. You got cities on fire. You know? This is in Detroit in the 60s. Look at this. Wasted. This is what Joab and those men did. Look at all this rubble. Men did this, man. There wasn't no nuclear missile that hit this, man. They ain't had no grenades. Men did this. Cities are going to be wasted. Let's put up another city. Where they had the see Chicago. Chicago riots 1960s. Let's do the aftermath again. Look at the aftermath, man. I don't know if Chicago was that bad as Detroit, but I know. Look at this. Right? All this is going to be happening around the men of the Lord, man. Around the servants of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is the visual of 2nd Ezra 5. All hell, look at this. This is the city wasted. You can't even make out what's what. Now remember, I mean, yeah, this was Jake, you had Esau, you had a lot of this stuff going on, but imagine all ethnicities, all nations, everybody losing their damn mind. Pandemonium. It's what you call anarchy. Okay, 2nd Ezra 5 is going into anarchy. You know? Let's do one more city. Let's do LA riots. Aftermath. Right? Look at this. Property damage was over $1 billion, man. Making it the most destructive period of local unrest in U.S. history. 1992. Now imagine that lasting decades and decades, or 5 years, or 10 years. Let's pull up some pictures of the land being wasted. Look at that. People can't even breathe, man. People gonna be walking around. I got Dimitri right here, right? I ain't planning this. People gonna be walking around with the damn, mask on, man. Because they can't breathe. Gonna be talking, somebody gonna have to pull a mask down, the pollution, the toxic air, the plastic burning, the chemicals. Gas stations ain't gonna be working. So this is what the Bible is speaking about. This is on a low level, but imagine it on a very high level. In every city, complete chaos. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra 5. Let's read it one more time. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse number 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. Let's get another precept on that, about this land being wasted. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So this links up. 2nd Ezra 5 gives you in part, right, about what will happen. Then there are later visions that actually kind of go more into detail. Houses being destroyed by fire, by civil unrest, men being afraid. People aren't going to know what to do in those days. Imagine how many Christians are going to be calling upon Jesus, the Christ, to save them. They're going to be afraid. How many people rely upon the police to solve their disputes? to help them in time of need, to provide assistance. There ain't gonna be no damn police, man. People gonna become their own police. You might be in one city, they got their own police department. They got their own little thing. They got their own laws. They got their own mayor. You know, they got their own king. People gonna be kings. You got men with, like I said, with them bandanas on. You travel to their city, they got sticks and guns, and they say, well, what the hell you doing around here, man? I just want food and water. They snatch your book bag from you, dump your book bag out, see what you got, take what they want to take, man. Say, turn around, walk, and keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. I just need food and water. They fire a gunshot in the air, fire one at your foot, and they say, keep it moving. If you got your woman, man, they might take your woman from you. That's if you're not under the protection of the Most High. See, if you're not under the shadow of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, you're going to be caught out there. I always keep saying you're going to be caught out there, meaning you're not going to be under the protection of the Most High. If you want to know what that means, you will not be under the protection of Yahweh Bashmi Shai and the angels. Caught out there by yourself with no hope. Let's read on. 2nd Ezra 15, and we read 15 and 19. I want to go to 2nd Ezra 16, Salakia. That's good too. 15 is beautiful. 16 is beautiful as well, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 22 again. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So that links directly up with 2nd Ezra 5. The land that you see have root is going to be wasted because the cities are going to be cast down by riots, by looting, by arson, by pillaging, by plundering, and by murder, and by war. And it's going to be, like we said earlier, it's going to be dead bodies just every damn where. The smell is going to be horrible. Right? Verse 24. Just right. You know what dead bodies bring? That's going to bring more rats, more vultures. Then you got stuff that eat rats, man. It's like the Lord said that even the wild beasts are going to change their places. There's going to be a lot of migrational patterns of beasts because the ecosystem is going to change. The entire world is going to shift. It's going to bring in more foxes. It's going to bring in things that eat damn wild beasts. It's going to be madness, man. You're going to have wild beasts out here. So cities are going to be completely cast down. Dead bodies everywhere. There should be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. I mean, ain't nobody going to be calling any more shots. Nobody's going to be running the earth and dictating anything. And population is going to decrease. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. Ghost towns. After all of the riots and the looting, people are going to be either dead. A lot of people are going to die. I saw this one video, and this was probably a year and a half ago. They say in the first 72 hours, they really said 72 hours. A lot of people know about that, 72 hours. 3 days, that's 3 days. After the first 72 hours, they say millions of people can die during an EMP attack or during the days of war. All it takes is the first 72 hours. That's all it takes, right? I may not be able to find that. Let's see if I can find that, right? First 72 hours of, I'm going to just do EMP attack, right? It could be anything, but I just typed this in to see if I can get the best information. Let's see how many people could die. Let's do deaths. That's what we worried about. Okay, check this out, right? An EMP attack itself doesn't directly kill people, but its effects on technology cause societal collapse. Now, this could happen, right? It could happen. It's a possibility, leading to mass deaths within days from infrastructure failure, right? From no power, water, food, transport, or medical, and chaos, with some analyses suggesting over 90% mortality within a year due to starvation and disease. That's what we read. All places are going to be desolate of men. 90% mortality. Mortality is deaths, man, due to starvation and disease, right? Though the immediate first 72 hours involve extreme disruption, not instant fatalities from the pulse itself. So, rather it's an EMP attack or, civil unrest, all hell breaking loose, war. The point is, many people within a year. A lot is going to take place in those first 3 days, but that first year or so, it's over, right? Second Ezra chapter 16 and 26. The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there should be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks, man. So people gonna be hiding in hills, bushes, trees. I don't know how many people are in New York, 30 million, 3 million, 5 million, I don't know. But that might turn to like 100,000. You might be in a small town of 10,000. Baltimore got like what? Maybe 600,000. That might turn to damn 50,000. As in the orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard, right? That's the law. Even so, in those days, there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. People going to be searching houses. You might see abandoned men across the street breaking in the house, man. You might hear gunshots and crying. Then they go on to the next house, then the next house. Looting, robbing. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. A lot of men are going to die. It's going to leave a lot of women left helpless. That's what another prophecy says, that 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Paraphrase. It's Isaiah 4 and 1 on down. Because a lot of these men are going to be drafted to World War III, fighting somewhere in Serbia, Ukraine, Venezuela, Jehoshaphat out there in the Middle East somewhere, being a paratrooper, manning the tank, and these women are going to be left by themselves, man. And when women don't have a defense, man, I don't have to really go into detail about what can happen to them. What's going to happen to the men? Let's read on. And the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So when war kick off, a lot of these men are going to get drafted. They're going to die in civil wars. They're going to die in race wars. They're going to die in World War III predominantly. Right? And they may do the age of 17 on up. It's like 16 on up, 18 on up, you got to fight. Now, if you're a man of the Lord, you're going to be protected from that. You don't have to worry about that. The men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You'll be just fine in these days. We're going to be protected. You know who's not going to be protected? The wicked, the lukewarm, the slothful, the insincere, the drunkards, the adulterer Israelites, the adultery Israelite, he likes to commit adultery, the fornicating Israelite, the thief, the robber, the woman who doesn't submit to her husband, who pulls her house down with her own hands, that they're not going to make it. If you wanted to know that, I mean, that's all throughout the Bible. But the true servants of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, they're going to be protected. How do you know that? Let's go to 2nd Esdras 2. Let's get one quick precept on that. 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse number 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. The Lord said, ain't none of them going to die, man. Now, you're going to have men that are martyred, but the remnant, hey, they're going to be just fine. You're going to eat. You're going to drink. The Lord said, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Right? So if you're a servant of the Most High, you're obedient through faith, you don't have to worry about these things. As we go through these events and current events and, dystopian life and war, this isn't to instill fear. This is not fear mongering. This is to provide knowledge and insight through the spirit of prudence about the expectations that draw nigh on the earth. But we're not worried about all this stuff we're going to we're not worried about this, man, because we have faith in Yahweh Bashmiel Shai that he's going to guide us and protect us in those times. We bank on Psalms 91. Psalms 37 says, I've been young and now I'm old. I've never seen a righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Proverbs 12 and 21. There shall no evil happen to the just. Sirach 33 and 1 says something along the same lines. And these precepts comfort us and put a spirit of zeal in us to keep striving for perfection so we can be protected by the Most High. Let's read it again. 2nd Esdras 2 and 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. See, people are going to be going through hell, but you're going to have a buffet. You're going to have clean clothes. You may have running water. You may have some drink. You might have some wine. Hey, hell, man, and the Most High may give you a little bit of strong drink. The Most High can make you invisible among the heathen, give you spiritual power, transport you to another land. You might be in a mansion. The Edomites died in there. You cast out their dead bodies. You got their food. You could be well off. You're going to have abundance. Like in that movie, Leave the World Behind? And at the end of that movie, that Edomite went into that underground bunker, man. Everybody else was caught out there. And she went into that underground bunker and she had a damn a marathon of friends. And she had all types of food. And she had a lock on the door. Wasn't nobody getting in there, man. She had food to last her God knows how long. That's how the men of the Lord are going to be taken care of. The Lord said in Job, the 5th chapter, at death and destruction, thou shalt laugh. Thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. You'll be fine. Stay prayed up. Stop letting these demons sift you out. Scope out that demon, destroy that demon, and stay fervent for the Most High. You're going to be merry and have abundance. Verse 28. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. You'll be just fine, right? If you believe that. If you don't believe that, then you're not going to be fine. But if you believe that, you'll be taken care of. 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, now we know why the Most High said that, man. If he grants you to live, because there's going to be so much war, so much destruction, so much madness on the earth. He said, if he grants you to live, right? If he allows you to live. We read there's going to be dead bodies everywhere, carcasses. But if the Most High grants you to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. So wars are going to be happening all the way up, and all hell is going to be breaking loose all the way up until the time that we out of here. Now, the men of the Lord are going to be alive even during the first two trumpets. Now, you read about these trumpets in Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 8. Right? That's why this is life after the third trumpet. Because prior to the first two trumpets, you're going to have all that war, civil unrest, destruction happening. And then these missiles are going to start falling on the earth, right? On a high level. That's what the first two trumpets are, right? They're the missiles falling on different parts of the earth. But it's written in a metaphor. What we're reading now, this is a dark sentence in Revelation. Okay? It is a dark sentence. It is not meant to be taken literal. That's why Christians and men who are unlearned do not understand the book of Revelation, because they have this mind of an Edomite and they can't discern spiritual things from natural things. You know, the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. So we're about to compare spiritual things with spiritual. And we're going to go into these first two trumpets, then we're going to go into the third trumpet, right? Revelation chapter 8 and verse number 6. And the seven angels, which had the seven trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. So during the days of the seventh seal being opened, you're going to have seven trumpets that sound. Okay, each trumpet represents a particular event prior to Yahushua returning. This is during the seventh seal. Revelation 8 and 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. So this should remind you somewhat of the Exodus. A lot of these plagues in Revelation, they are rooted in the spirit of what you read about in the book of Exodus. In Exodus, you had hell mingled with fire. Okay? In the book of Exodus. And that destroyed all of the trees and broke down the trees and broke down the green herbs. And that literally happened. This is not meant to be taken literal. This is a event where the Most High is describing destruction from the missiles, as if hell is mingled with fire. It's going to burn up a third part of the trees and all green grass. So when the missiles hit the earth, it's going to burn up people. The people are the trees, and the people are the grass. How do you know that? Let's get one quick precept for each. Let's get one for the grass. Let's go to Isaiah 40. Right? The people are grass. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse number 6. That's why you have to go through the precepts. The voice said, cry. And he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodliness thereof is as the flower of the field. So all flesh is likened unto grass. Due to the brevity of grass. Grass is here and is burnt up, or is cut down, or is blown away with the wind, or eaten by livestock. Grass is not living forever, you know? Just like man. Man has a short life. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the spirit of Yahweh bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. So people are likened unto grass. because of their short life and they're easy to be destroyed. People are called grass. That is a similitude. People are not only grass, people are also likened unto trees. All right, let me get one more precept on grass. All right, let me just get one more witness. One more witness. This James chapter 1 and 10. James 1 and 10. But the rich, and that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass, he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. So the rich man fading, he's likened unto grass. Okay, let's go to there's so many tree precepts. Let's do the classic, right? Let's do the classic in Mark 8 and 24. This is a classic, right? Tree precept. Mark chapter 8 and 24. This is plain. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. Men are likened as trees, and men are likened unto grass. This is after Yahushua performed the miracle, and the man began to see men as trees. Let's do another one. Let's go to Psalms 92 and 12. I know I'm moving kind of fast, but that's fine, right? Psalms chapter 92 and 12. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, he shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They should be fat and flourishing. So righteous men are likened like palm trees, because palm trees are upright and palm trees are very strong, right? So men are likened unto trees. Once you understand that concept, you begin to unlock certain mysteries throughout the Bible, chiefly in Revelation. Now you know that the Most High's anger and wrath is not with actual trees. Trees don't sin, grass don't sin, but men does, or men do rather. And the Most High is going to burn up a third part of trees and all green grass, which is a metaphor of saying a certain portion of men are going to die when the missiles begin to hit the earth. A third part is just a portion, right? A certain portion. It doesn't mean just literally a 33.3%. No, people are going to die in war. Everybody ain't going to die. How come it didn't say all people are going to die? Why is it just a third? Because people have to be preserved for slavery. People have to go into captivity. You still need heathen there to be able to build the walls of the kingdom of heaven and to take captive. So the Lord ain't going to kill everybody. He's going to kill a certain portion. Revelation 8 and 8. That's the first trumpet sounded. And the second angel sounded. And as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Is that really going to happen? No, but this is to remind you of a plague. Remember, the Most High turned the water to blood in the book of Exodus. Right? Moses, through the Spirit of the Most High, turned the water to blood. Right? The Most High turned the water to blood. Likewise, when the Lord sent the missiles down, he's going to turn the waters to blood again. Only difference is now the sea is actually talking about people, not actual body of water. All right? It's talking about people. How do you know that? Let's go to Revelation 17 and 15. Some of you brothers, you know these precepts. These are fundamental precepts, but then you got brothers that may be new to this and they may not be familiar. So we have to touch back over it. Waters represent the nations. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So you can have an actual sea, or you got people that are likened unto waters. That's why there's famous sayings called the wave. People do the wave because people, they look like waters in motion. People crowd surf because people are like waters that move people. There's a famous saying called a sea of people, right? When you see thousands of people, it's called a sea of people. A sea of people is a metaphor for a vast, overwhelming crowd, evoking the movement and sheer number of an ocean. All right. That's why people could do the wave and do things like that and crowd surf amongst the sea. And the sea is the sea of people. Right? It's plain. Right? It's the sea of people. So the sea became blood, meaning the nations were destroyed. Revelation 8 and 9. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. So the nations are going to be destroyed, navy, the people that are affected by World War III. These are the things that are going to happen in the first two trumpets. The missiles are going to begin to rain on the earth, right? They're going to begin to rain. Let's get another similar precept. Revelation. Actually, you know what? Let's do Matthew 24. We read this one at camp today. We read this at camp, right? For the man who thought the Gentiles could be saved, right? Matthew chapter 24 and verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. So as World War III and Jacob's trouble reaches its climax, the Most High is going to shut the moon out. He's going to shut the sun out. They're going to be dark. Is that literal? Is the moon and the sun literally going to be dark? No. Again, the Bible is full of metaphors, dark sentences, right? It's full of allegories. So the sun and the moon being dark represents the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding of these nations. Manifest as what on a practical level? Their science, their ability to have universities, right? Their pharmaceutical industry, their physicists, their engineers, all of the things that their music industry, their culture, their influence, all of those things represent the light that pulls people to these societies. So if the Most High turn the sun and the moon off, he's taking away their knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's all he's saying. Let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 10. All right, this Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in its going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. So when Yahweh Shah start jamming up the earth, it ain't going to be no, oh, I got this idea. Ain't no Nobel Peace Prize winner going to bring peace. Ain't no top engineer going to stop Yahweh Shah. Top physicists, wise men, wicked high priests that doing sacrifices with children on some island, they ain't going to do a damn thing. That's the Most High's time. You had your time to have light, man. You brought people through and on Ellis Island and immigrated people, and you had power. You became God of the world. You dropped bombs on nations and ruled the earth and robbed the treasures and enslaved the people. You had your damn chance, man. You made yourself God. You made yourself the Lord, the angels. You were the professors. You were the wise men. You were the bankers, the doctors. You were the judge, the executioner, the jury, the jailer, the sheriff, the cop, the hero. You were Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. You were everything and anything that anybody ever wanted to be for a long damn time. But now your time is up, man. And all your light is shut down by Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shah. Let's see what else he's going to do in the next verse. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So that sun and the moon being darkened represents the knowledge and the wisdom of the so-called white man being shut down. Let's get one more. Let's go to Micah, the 3rd chapter, verse 5. This is Micah chapter 3 and verse number 6. I'll read 6. Micah 3 and 6. Therefore, night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded, yea, they shall cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. So your sun being dark is you being confounded and you not having any answers. There's the famous saying, the sun has set on this empire, or the sun has set on this dynasty, the sun has set on this kingdom. Right? What does this mean? What does the sun has set on mean? Right? Let's see if they have something like that, right? Look at this. The sun has set on something is an idiom, meaning that something has ended, concluded, or passed its peak. Here's some examples. It's used metaphorically to suggest decline, the end of a reign, because America, they say the average age of an empire is 250 years. So when the sun and the moon set, that's the end of the reign. Or the conclusion of an important chapter, like the sun has set on his glorious career, or the sun setting on an empire. What does it mean? An end, past your prime. A person or thing has lost its power, fame, or relevance. That's America. Finality, a sense of completion, often with a touch of melancholy, a finality like the darkness after the day's end. One more. After decades of dominance, the sun has set on their company's reign. Can't get around that. So the sun being set, meaning they have no answers of God and they are confounded. And the powers of heavens being shaken and the stars falling represent the missiles that are going to fall on the earth and begin to break down and destroy these different kingdoms. That's what that means, right? So back in the book of Revelation, let's go back to Revelation. Revelation 8. Those are going to happen in the first 2 trumpets, right? Revelation chapter 8 and verse 10. So the first 2 trumpets are the missiles beginning to hit the earth and fall, and the nation's knowledge and wisdom being completely destroyed. Now, what does it say in 2nd Ezra 5? Let's read 2nd Ezra 5 and 4 one more time. Why are we going over this? Because here's what the Lord said. But if the Most High grant thee to live, if you could destroy, survive the missiles beginning to rain and fall on the earth and powers being shaken and no answers from these heathen and no hope, if you still survive, if you're still on the earth, if you're left behind, thou shalt see after the 3rd trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night and the moon thrice in the day. So let's touch on this 3rd trumpet. Revelation chapter 8 and verse number 10. Right? Revelation 8 and 10. And the 3rd angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the 3rd part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. So again, those are different kingdoms and nations that are going to get hit by these missiles. That's the great star falling from heaven. Right? When John saw the missiles falling, it actually looked like a star or a missile. He described it. When you look up we're looking up a lot of stuff, and we have to provide the visual. Missile in the night. I mean, how would John describe this, man? If you were on the earth in the first century and you saw this thing falling, you think John was going to say that's an intercontinental ballistic missile moving at 200 kilometers per hour? No. He didn't have that understanding. You think he was a physicist? No. He was a fisherman. He had a fisherman mind, an ancient mind. Like I always say, he's describing futuristic technology with an ancient mind. So this missile falling, he said, that looks like a star. And he did a good job describing that by the Spirit of the Most High. You know, because how else would he know that that's a star falling from heaven? Burning, as it were a lamp, a great mountain burning like a lamp. Fire mingled with hell. How would he know? But he's looking at it. What's that? And what's that? And he's writing it down because he's watching the movie. And he's trying to write everything down. And certain things the Lord said, don't write it and describe this. And he's doing a hell of a job. You know? So, but to the Edomite and to the unlearned, they think this is an actual star that actually hit the Mississippi River, man. You know, hit the damn Nile River and the Trevi Fountain. No, these are dark sayings. Let's get a quick precept on the dark saying. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 39. Right? I keep talking about that. Let me get one precept on that. Or a dark sentence, right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse number 3. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. That's what a wise man who's in the law and occupied in prophecies will do. He's going to be where all of the grave sentences are and be conversant. He's going to be able to speak well and eloquently with knowledge in dark parables. So these are illustrated events and stories with a hidden message behind it. Right? It's only dark to those who don't have the light, you know? But thanks be to Yahweh, Bashman Shai, that he's given us this light. And we know that through the Holy Spirit and eye salve, that this is not a literal star, because that would destroy the whole earth, man. You know, that would destroy the earth. So we know it's not literal. So let's read on. Revelation 8 and 11. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Right? So this wormwood is attributed to this missile, to the missiles in general. Why is it called wormwood? Is it an actual missile? And on the back of it, it says wormwood. Right? No. Wormwood is a word that's given to a particular herb that gives bitterness. So when these missiles begin to hit the earth, they compass all things and everything that brings bitterness to the men of the earth. Nuclear fallout, fire, families killed, death, destruction. Anything and everything about these missiles is wormwood. There's no other way to describe it. And I like to use the example of a brother that he may hoop. You know, he may say, I am basketball. A brother that box, I am boxing. What's your name? I am boxing, man. I am football. Now, is he literally a football? Under what circumstance would a man say, I am football? Because he's everything, the epitome, the strength, all things about football. This guy could run and he could throw and he has highlights. He's a star. He is football. You know? So when the Lord describes the missiles as wormwood, it's not meant to be taken literal. The spirit behind the destruction brings bitterness. So the Most High metaphorically called it wormwood, which is an actual herb that brings bitterness. Right? Let's go to Jeremiah 23. Right? Let's go to Jeremiah. It's not an actual thing. Okay, it's wormwood. You know, what's going on? Is that an actual herb? No. Right? Jeremiah 23 and 15. Here's a quick precept. Therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them with wormwood and make them drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness going forth into all the land. So the Lord is going to feed the men with wormwood, meaning plagues and destruction, right? He's not going to literally pull up the herb here. You eat one. Okay, Zedekiah, okay, here. Okay, Jeconiah here. Okay, the sons of Israel here. Open your mouth. Here's a little bit of wormwood, right? It's not literal. You can actually buy wormwood from your local, herb place, man. Your herb guy. It's actual wormwood, right? It's an actual herb. Brings bitterness. It has particular effects. What effects do wormwood have on the body, right? Wormwood is used for digestion, pain, inflammation, right? But it's a bitter herb. Look, a bitter herb, right? So it's just nothing but bitterness. That's all the Most High is saying, right? But it's an actual thing. So now we get the point, right? So let's read it again. Revelation 8 and 11. And the name of the star is called wormwood. Let's get that word in the Greek real quick. I know we kind of made the point, but let's just see what they say. Right? Absinthos. Okay, wormwood, they don't go, okay, they kind of go into it, right? The name of a star which fell into the waters and made them bitter. A type of bitterness, check this out. Figuratively, calamity. So it's a figurative sense of bringing about bitterness to men and calamity by means of nuclear fallout, fire, and destruction. It's all figurative. Okay? So let's go back to this. That's why it says many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Right? Many men are going to be destroyed. Now, back in 2nd Ezra 5, the Most High said, if he grants you to live after the third trumpet. So after the third trumpet is when the missiles are raining. Wormwood and many men are dying. Many men are going to die while the elect are still alive. Rather they hit this country or that country or that country or this country. Before they come directly into America, many powers are going to be shaken. If the Most High grants you to live after the third trumpet, what did he say is going to happen? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 5. 2nd Ezra 5 and 4 one more time. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that's after the wormwood, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. Is that literal? No, we already covered that the sun and the moon represent answers from God. We read that in Micah. And not being confounded. So if you're still alive on the earth at that time, and the sun shines on you, and the moon shines on you, it's a sign of hope and faith and an answer from the Most High that our deliverance draws very, very nigh. That's all it said. Now, let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and 26. Because remember, we read it in Matthew 24 and 29. And we also read in Isaiah 13 and 10 that the sun is going to be dark and the moon is going to be dark. That's for the nations. For us, he's going to give us light. He's going to give us light. Just like Egypt. They was in darkness. We're going to be in light. Our sun and moon is going to shine. Their sun and moon is going to be dark. We're going to have answers from the Most High God and not be confounded. They won't have any damn answers, and they will be confounded. Precept, Isaiah 30 and 26. Life after the third trumpet, right? And we'll explain how that's going to go on a practical level, right? Isaiah 30 and 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold as the light of 7 days. And the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people and healeth the stroke of their wound. So as our deliverance draws nigh and Yahweh returns, our sun is going to be sevenfold. Our moon is going to be as the light of the sun. We're going to be full of radiance, brightness, hope, and expectation. Because we know when war kick off, man, we're going to be praising and calling on the name of the Lord, man. You gotta imagine that excitement you're going to feel. Like, man, this is it. Any second, them chariots could come. When Jacob's trouble kick off, man, and you going through it, you're going to be, the Lord said, within we're without were fightings, within were fears. So you're going to have natural spirits of apprehensiveness and, spirits of, man, I hope and the Most High make it out. I hope I make it out of here. And missiles are raining and, wars on the earth and things are happening. But in the back of your mind, like, man, we out of here. It's going to be dark to them, but for us, and we still there, we're like, man, this is it. You got to put yourself in those shoes at that time. Let's go to Malachi, the 4th chapter. Right? Malachi chapter 4 and verse number 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness. See how it's spelled son, S-U-N. Yahweh Shai is a metaphor for the sun. And in Psalms 84, it says the Lord is the sun. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. So when that sun is shining again and the moon is shining on us, it's a sign that we only got 4 more trumpets, and them missiles going to be falling back to back on the earth. And at any given second, you're going to hear that 7th trumpet. You're going to hear Yahweh Shai return. That sky going to crack open, and you're going to call upon the name of the Most High. That's life after the 3rd trumpet, because prior to that, it's going to be nothing but hell on the earth. But when that 3rd trumpet begin to sound, that hope is going to be made so bright and so manifest, man. Right? Let me get this in Psalms 84. And there's more that's going to happen, right? Psalms chapter 84 and 11. For Yahweh is a sun and shield. So the Lord is a sun. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. So our sun shining is the Most High delivering us. Now, we're still going to be there when the other missiles are falling. But when the missiles begin to come into America, and predominantly Babylon the Great, and we see them coming in, that's when we're going to get beamed up out of here. And we're going to be affrighted. The Lord said the remnant was affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So that's going to be in our mind. If we're part of the elect, in our mind, we're going to be having that expectation. Man, this is it. Because once Jacob's trouble kick off and all hell break loose, it's going to be, man, that's going to be some thrilling, exciting times. Yeah, we're going to be catching hell. And it may not feel like that because we're going to be on the go, stuff going to be happening. But like I said, through the Spirit of the Most High, in the back of your mind, somewhere deep in your spirit, you also know that this place is finished. Ain't no more working, ain't no more jobs, ain't no more buying. Ain't no more, hey, look, we on our way out of here. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra 5, right? 2nd Ezra 5 and 5. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. And this is not literal, right? It's not mean, it doesn't mean the literal trees are going to just start dropping blood out and, well, wow, what's that going on? And that rock is talking. Right? This isn't damn Geodude, man. For brothers who know who Geodude is, this ain't Geodude. Rock, you just get up and, with 2 arms and start damn talking. Right? I don't even know how I remember that, but that's what that is. That's what people would think. The wood represents the people. Remember, men are likened to trees. So blood dropping out of the wood represents men dying and nations being destroyed. That's what wood and stone represent. It's not a literal thing to okay, you cut a tree down and that's impossible. I mean, it's actually impossible. Let's be real. Right? You don't cut a tree down and blood starts coming out. Stones don't actually talk. Sometimes we gotta break it down like that. No, brother, the stones are actually born. It's not literal. Yahweh said that if these stones, I have to find that. He said if these children hold their peace, the stones will cry out. Let me get that in the Gospels real quick. All right, let me get that quick precept. Salakia, to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Awashai. I want to get this where Yahweh said that the stones would cry out, right? Let me see. Let me just type that in for sake of time. So Salakia. Stones would cry out, right? Luke 19:40. Let's get that. Luke 19:40. Right? It reads thus, through the Spirit of the Most High. And he answered and said unto them, I tell you, if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. Right? So it's not literal. It's not literally that the stones are going to, scriptures say, give his voice and the people shall be troubled. When you read 2nd Ezra 5 and you read a lot of these different events, if you will, that the Most High says going to be may happen, it's not always meant to be taken literal. The earth is going to be at a state of confusion, right? At a state of pandemonium and a state of no hope and a state of destruction. So going to be blood dropping out of wood, meaning the nations destroyed, stones giving his voice, riots, people crying out. All hell is going to be breaking loose. That's all it's saying, right? Verse 6. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth. And the fowl shall take away their flight together. And Yahweh Shah is going to return on the earth, right? And he's also likened to a stone himself. When you read Psalms chapter 118, Isaiah the 8th chapter, Matthew the 21st chapter, right? That's what this means. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowl shall take away their flight together. Because after them trumpets begin to sound, hey, the Lord is on his way. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. The sea of Sodom is the Dead Sea, which doesn't have any life. But metaphorically and miraculously, you would think that Dead Sea is now going to bring forth life. The Dead Sea has no life. It's full of salt. It's nothing can come out of that, right? But things that have no life, things that are destitute, things are going to bring forth life, right? The Israelites going to wake up. Nations going to be at war. It's going to be a state of total, the Most High Spirit going to be totally on the earth, right? It doesn't mean that fish are going to literally just come out the sea. It just means that things that are dormant, things that are dead, are going to bring forth the actions and the works of God. That's what this means, to make a noise in the night, because it's going to be spiritual nighttime, because the sun is going to be dark and the moon is going to be dark. And everybody's going to feel the spirit of the Most High, of his wars and commotions that he has on the earth, right? Verse number 8, there should be a confusion also in many places, right? You're going to have, again, riots, people burning buildings down. People aren't going to know who's their leader. Where do I go? Who do I call upon? Who's my protector? Who's my strong stay? It's going to be confusion also in many places. And the fire shall be sent out again. The fire from the missiles, right? From nuclear warheads, from the stars falling from heaven. And the wild beast shall change their places, right? You got wild beasts changing their places. You got people over here. You got beasts over here. You got deers over here. You got damn all hell breaking loose, man. There's a lot of, in 2nd Ezra 5, quote unquote, supernatural events And a lot of these events, the Most High uses them in a metaphoric way to describe total chaos on the earth. All right, and confusion in the earth. And you do have actual wild beasts changing their places as well. And that's going to happen as societies collapse. And it's already kind of happening now. All right. And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And that's another thing, because a woman on her cycle or her flower, that is the opposite of a woman that could bring forth children. Because we all know why a woman's on her menstrual cycle. Her eggs are dead, they're shedding. It's impossible for her to bring forth life. But now, miraculously, supernaturally, now you have menstruous women bringing forth monsters. So you have a lot of these things that seem impossible are happening behind a spirit of confusion. And you do have actual monsters on the earth, right? You have actual demons on the earth. You got, when I say demons, people with demons on it. Right? You got these kids out here murdering people. You got people with switches, techs, Uzis, grenades. You got people beating up old people. You have actual monsters. But again, the overall spirit behind second Esdras is confusion and chaos. That's the intent of what the Most High is giving you with these different examples. Second Esdras 5 and 9. As salt water shall be found in the sweet. That's the same thing. That's confusion. Right? You got fresh water, you got salt water. Does that mean all of the water that's fresh in the Great Lakes going to have salt water in it? No. Right? It's not meant to be taken literally all the time. And friends shall destroy one another, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. So you have civil wars, right? Men killing each other. You have Edomite nations turning on America. You have actual friends robbing each other. The famine of the word. The Most High taking the spirit of wisdom and bringing it back up to the third heaven. That's understanding hiding itself due to the famine of the word. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. We read that. Iniquity shall abound. And people are going to try to find the truth. They're not going to find it. People are going to seek the men of the Lord. They're not going to find them. Oh, those brothers they teach over there, they're not going to be there. Oh, well, them brothers I heard they teach over here, they're not there. It's over with. It's over. You had your chance. Let me try to get internet. Ain't going to be no damn service for you to watch the videos. All these videos are going to be flagged and shut down. So people are going to try to seek the truth, but they're not going to be able to find it. You can't find what the Most High hides. This ain't, ain't a scavenger hunt. If the Most High hide it, you can't find it. He hid your nationality, you ain't find it. Right? You didn't know these things, man. This is Job, the 12th chapter. Right? This is Job chapter 12 and verse number 14. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. So if the Most High break you down, shut you up, and you don't get the truth, you can't open it and get the truth. And since there's no truth, evil and wickedness is going to multiply on the earth. Verse number 11. One land also shall ask another, and say, is righteousness that maketh the man righteous going through thee? And it shall say, no. Why? Because the men of the Lord are going to be scarce. Like the Lord said in 1 Samuel, the 3rd chapter, it says, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days, because prophets and visions were limited. And people are going to be looking for the men of the Most High. Don't you know how valuable Eli was in the book of Eli? That's how the men of the Lord are going to be. In Isaiah 13 and 12, the Most High said, on down, he said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. So you brothers that know this truth, man, you are invaluable. How they say, know your worth, man. Have some righteous preeminence about yourself. Walk with your head up, man. You are more valuable than any, you're the most valuable entity on the earth right now. Your net worth is beyond Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Your net worth can't be measured in the earth. It can only be measured in the heavens. So much so that nations are going, well, where's the righteous man? Have y'all seen any of those brothers with the, where are they at? I need answers. I need knowledge. And they're going to say, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen those guys with them fringes. Talking about them guys with that red book, that beard on his face. Oh, man, I thought they was over here. Well, I don't see them. You will not find them. Right? Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Verse number 12. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. Yeah, economy collapsing. Job market finished. Cities completely destroyed. Your money's worth nothing. People aren't going to be able to obtain anything because there won't be anything. And the only things that people want to obtain are carnal things. And the carnal materialistic things are going to be destroyed. And even if you hoped to obtain spiritual things, you're not going to get it, man. And you're not going to prosper because you ran out of time. Let's get Proverbs, the first chapter. You ran out of damn time, man. You took this truth for a joke and for a game. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 24. Because I have called and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. The Lord stretched out his hand. He's correcting you. He'll warn you. He'll exhort you, rebuke you, and you won't regard it. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. You don't want to take correction. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. The Lord is going to laugh at those men who are looking for answers, who are looking for truth, who's trying to seek out the Bible and what do I do? And God help me. I don't have any food. Lord, save me. I don't have any water. Lord, save me. I'm in war. The Lord he's laughing at you. He's going to mock you. You don't want the Lord mock you. Michael the angel, archangel mocking you. Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, the 420 elders. They're looking down from the third heaven, laughing you to scorn. Look at this. And that's a heavy laugh right there. Look at him eating out this trash can. Simple. Look at him dying this missile. Dying by this missile. Right? What a fool. Just mocking you, man. Laughing. That's scary. You know? When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. People going to seek him early, man. Man, I got to get right. Flooding churches, trying to look up stuff online. He's not going to be there for you. This is your chance to get right now, man. To be praying, to be fasting, to be examining yourself, calling on the name of the Most High. Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, that's your time right now. Stop waiting, man. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. The Lord said, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. So let's read this again. 2nd Ezra 5 and 12. At that time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. To show thee such tokens, I have leave. And if thou wilt pray again and weep as now and fast 7 days, thou shalt hear yet greater things. So the Lord told Ezra, these are such tokens. I told you, I was sitting here to show you these signs. What would life would be like? War, destruction, life after the third trumpet, the missiles. I was told to give you those things. If you want more, you pray again, you'll fast, and you'll see greater things. So with that, we're going to close up. Give it, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Wamalak Abishai. Dystopia, life after the third trumpet. Most High willing you was edified. You keep the Sabbath day holy. No buying, no selling, no working, no cooking, no sex on the Sabbath, no folly, no confusion. You should be praying in the spirit, having a holy convocation, reading, studying, meditating, examining yourself, diving into the scriptures, taking notes, going over your notes, your flashcards, watching the videos, going back over the lesson, being in the spirit of perfection and godliness. Thus saith Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Wamalak Abishai, Kwam Yashab, Shalom.